Hi, Tammy Hexel from Design Decor DIY, and welcome to my dining room. I'm thrilled to have you here and excited to share with you a way that you can have a little bit less traditional fall centerpiece. It's really a combination of metallics, bronzes, silvers, golds, all the things that I really love, along with some of the colors that I'm the most passionate about, which would be reds and oranges and yellows. So I think it's fun to have a bit of sparkle in your table centerpiece, so I'm going to show you how to accomplish that. We're ready to get started building our fall centerpiece. Now, I love home goods, and you're going to hear that from me over and over again because I just think they have the best deals on a whole bunch of different things. And I got this beautiful plate that I'm going to be using as the starting point for my centerpiece at Home Goods for $25. I thought it was such a steal and such a unique piece. Now wait a second before you go, Tammy, I don't have that plate, so I can't make this centerpiece. I didn't have this plate until just recently, got it this year, and I've been doing beautiful table centerpieces for years. So hold on, let me show you what you can do to create the same height. All you need to start creating some height for your centerpiece is a piece of fabric or a table runner, something beautiful that when it shows you're comfortable with it. And you can use boxes or something as simple as this. I use these actually still in a lot of my decor. They're just storage containers, and you can put those on your table. It's going to create a little bit of height variance, and these get hidden under your beautiful fabric or your beautiful table runner. And that's going to be part of what starts the process for us to create a variety of levels in your centerpiece, which is what helps create interest. Now, some people like really tall centerpieces, and I don't. I feel like that gets in the way of being able to see your guest. So the creation that I'm going to help you build is the one that we saw in the beginning, which is sort of the long and low and reflects the length of the table itself. Starting with whatever you're going to build your centerpiece off of, and in this case for me, it's this glass bowl that we talked about. I know that I like to work in sets of 3, so I want to have a centerpiece that has 3 candles in the center. But this also, I could do this a couple of different ways, but I want right now to have a circle centerpiece, so that's what I'm going to create with my candles. Now I'm just using one of the leftover chargers that I have for my table to hold these candles, and again, it doesn't have to be anything this fancy. I'm using this in case it shows, then I know I don't have to worry about that. These candles I just love, and I'm trying to see here, I'll give you the brand name. This is a flameless candle, and I just think these are awesome. These are actually made out of real wax and smell like vanilla, and they have a timer on them, so they have that real glow. If you love real candles, you can use those as well, whatever you're the most comfortable with. So again, we'll start with our set of 3 candles because that helps keep the eye moving through any type of decor. Now we're going to add in our large swags, and even though these look large initially, when you start to put them on a dining room table, very quickly the dining room table can start dwarfing them a bit. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to play around with this and try to start working this in with the candles that we have. And throughout this process, what we're going to start doing is kind of looking for holes. So a lot of the centerpieces that sometimes maybe are not as effective as they could be, just take what's been presented at a store, someplace that you purchase it, and use it as is without kind of supplementing it. And when we look at some of these, they are beautiful pieces, but they do have some holes in them. So we're just going to continue to add on different elements, creating different sense of height and accentuating the length of the table as we build. So this isn't quite long enough for me in terms of the table, so I've got 2 hurricane lamps that are relatively low, so I'm going to add those as well. Okay, so here are the hurricane candle lights, and we're going to put those right at the ends here and see how those work. And I want you to notice that we've got, of course, our fall colors, but lots of metallics already coming in. And I'll show you, I've added some metallics onto these more traditional fall swags and some of the elements that I'm going to continue to add. So nice length getting created here. We've got a little bit of up and down movement going for the eye, which is a wonderful way to move somebody's eye across the centerpiece. But still lots of holes, and still not quite fall enough for me, so, and not quite glittery enough either, so I'm going to keep adding pieces. Okay, we've got gold glittery pumpkins galore, and these are just dollar store pumpkins that have been spray painted gold. And then you can add on any type of adhesive like a Mod Podge, an Elmer's glue, and then any leftover sequins, gold beads, anything like that. If you've got that, you can add that as well. You can certainly probably find products that are similar to this that are already finished in stores like Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, Michaels, but it's often less expensive to make these yourself. So we're going to use these to start filling in some of the larger holes that we can see here. And we'll see if I can manage not to drop any of these while I'm putting them in place. And you just go through and you sort of look, sometimes, you know, you just have to really play around with things and see what looks right. And I'm just going to continue to do that. And again, another layer that's going to come in is, I think, certainly one of the things we see in the fall all the time are pine cones. So we're going to go ahead and supplement the pine cones that are already in here. Okay, I have got a lot of pine cones, and one of the things that's great about pine cones is they are very inexpensive. Even if you purchase them at the store, they're even cheaper if you can find them outside from good old Mother Nature. Now, when I bought these did actually already have the gold glitter on them, but I don't know if you did this as a kid. We used to roll around pine cones in Elmer's glue and then sprinkle them with glitter. So obviously if the glitter starts coming off, that's one easy way to fix that. Or if you have access to pine cones at your house, this is a really quick, easy, inexpensive way to start getting a more glamorous look. So it's a great combination of kind of the natural and the glittery, just to give you something a bit extra. So I'm just going to start tucking these in at various parts in the arrangement. Now, my girls give me a hard time when I do some of these things because they always talk about like how much I like to put on the table and how much kind of stuff I like. And I remember when I was younger, I used to think the same thing about my mom, but I guess I come by it honestly. Both my mom and her mom were florists, and we tend to like a lot of kind of glitzy, glamoury, very full arrangements. So you're just going to look as you go along for spots that look like they have a hole. And certainly what you want to do is go through your centerpiece and look at it from all angles. Usually a centerpiece on a dining room table is going to be looked at from a lot of different angles, possibly all sides, depending on how your room is arranged. So I'm just going to keep placing these, and sometimes you try something, like I'm going to think about, okay, and I don't like that particularly, so I tried something. It's not a problem. If you try it, you don't like it, no worries, you just move on to the next thing. And I've got a little trick. My candles aren't sitting very well right now, so I'm going to show you a little trick that I use when that happens for a number of different things. And let me just keep going here with my candle and with my pine cone build out. And I'm thinking that's starting to look pretty good, but I do want to show you the trick to help level out your candles, and also have just a couple other elements to add. Oh, look, I found one known pine cone straggler that I left behind, so we need to find a home for this guy. And let's see where we're going to put that one right there, I think. So a little trick for straightening out your candles. Whether you drink some kind of bottled water, soda, whatever it is that you like to drink, the caps that come off of those, this little cap here is great for leveling something out. In this case, this candle looks like it's just a little bit off center. This is small enough that it's not really visible to the eye, and very quickly it straightens that candle out. So again, whether it's a bottle cap, something else that you have, anything that will be hidden, that's why fabric can be particularly great, because you can kind of bunch it up. Now, of course, you want to be very careful if you're using real candles with anything like that, but again, these are the flameless candles. And something else that I like to use in addition to the flameless candles are just these little inexpensive, these are the lights that you often see people will put out as tea lights in pumpkins sometimes at Halloween time, but they're super inexpensive. You can get them at the dollar store. But they were bright white when I got them, and so that was a little bit too much of a contrast, really wasn't working with the theme that I had. So I just did a quick spritz of spray glitter glue on these guys to give them just a little bit of extra pop of glamour. And now we're just going to use those to kind of tuck in. And then again, you can turn these on at night, so you just have a little bit of a glow going in your room without burning your candles, if you have real candles that you use. And normally what I'll do is I'll use my flameless candles throughout the season, so I can enjoy them every night. Like I said, these actually have a timer. I thought they were a great set, and I'll leave the information about these in the info below the video. And then when it comes down to actually sitting down maybe for a Thanksgiving dinner, then I'll switch these out if I have real candles, and I'll put the real candles on the table and light those candles then. If you don't have real candles, these are just beautiful as well, and I often have guests comment on them. So just use what you have, but for me the flameless candles are great because I get to enjoy the sensation and the smell of the vanilla and the look of the flame for an extended period of time. So now I may play with this more as we go along, but it's starting to look pretty good. Now I do know sometimes you will get like a couple holes that you still can't fill in with some of your larger pieces like your pumpkins and your pine cones. So one of the things that I recommend that you do is that you find pieces maybe from another floral arrangement that is looking kind of shabby and you're thinking about getting rid of it. But before you do any of that, a can of spray paint can fix so many ills. So don't be quick to throw out something or to give it away, especially if you're going to have to replace it with something else, until you try to see if you can fix it with a really quick quick spray of paint. So these were some leaves from another arrangement that I had, and I may just tuck those in up front here just to kind of soften this front edge a little bit and see how I like that. And I can tell I am liking that already. So those are all the steps involved in creating this beautiful fall centerpiece. It's a great combination of the beautiful colors of fall, but then it's got the glitz and the glamour to make it a little bit unique with the combination of the gold, the silver, just the different metallics that help make it pop, and the little bits of glitter and sequins that make it just a bit different. So it's not like a traditional fall table. It's unique and something that you can enjoy from the beginning of the fall season all the way through Thanksgiving. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel or join me on my website, designdecor.com. Thanks for joining me. This is Tammy Hechtel, and have a great fall season.